Hey everybody, how you doing? This is the Mail Book Club, Books and Beyond. Clap it up. I'm happy to be here with the gang. We have a new celebrity in the house. I like to give it up for my friend, your friend, Kenneth B. Coden. Kenneth, say hi to the people.
Hey, what's up? What's up? I'm Kenneth B. Coding. As you can tell, do a little bit of coding, but also do a little bit of reading. So,
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We still got the same old folks here too. Black, everyone's favorite, Black, in the
What's
building.
happening? What's happening? What's happening?
He's a real one. When he says he's 5 minutes out, he's 5 minutes out. And then we got Mister. I'm too oily, so I put a shirt on. I'm too oily, so I put a shirt on.
Some must be working hard, not hardly working. You know what I'm
Hey, you
saying?
know what? It's good
Uh,
to know. It's good to know somebody in the room working.
That wifey.
nah, this is my mom.
I'll tell mom who said what's
Oh
up.
yeah, tell boss said what's up. I'm gonna get these names sorted out. So we are going to be reading the psychology of money. We are on our second part of it. We missed last week, so we're gonna go ahead and jump two sections together. We're gonna be doing 6 to 15. Chapter 6 to 9, 6 to 10 really felt really short. So if you want to get with us or keep up with us, those are chapters we're gonna be covering. Feel free to grab the book. It's a great read, and see where everybody else is on it as far as see as far as like where we are and see if you feel the same way after reading it. But we'll go ahead and get started. Black, I'll let you take lead here. For chapters, we'll do chapter 6 and 7 together. Because once again, those were really short.
Yeah, we did them shit. I did 6 and 7. So what we did 1 through 5.
Yeah. So chapter 6, let me pull. Chapter
Tails.
6 is want, work, win.
Tails you win.
Huh?
it tells you when.
Oh wait, shit. Am I in the wrong section? Oh yeah, you're right. I'm looking at. I was looking at.
I'm like, I know I download the wrong book and start
No,
reading.
I looked. I was reading. The Prime one. Sorry, damn. I was looking at the Prime one. Where's my 6 at?
Both of them
Six
was a decent
tells you
little,
win. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm in the right place. All right. What we got? Speak on it.
Go ahead, Kim.
You want me to take lead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kenneth.
Because that was a minute ago for me.
Yeah, me too. But basically, in that chapter, they were talking about basically all like the was it Fortune 500 companies
Mm-hmm.
of how they expect like a percentage of all their investments to tank. Like they take that into account to like basically hedge their bets.
Yeah.
Um, what I took from that is like at least to have multiple streams of like income because
Mm-hmm.
some may fail and some may succeed, but you know, based on the previous chapters, like to like get into investment vehicles that you like actually know about and then you can like hedge your bets more in line with what you have a knowledge base of. So at least
No.
for like a personal person, I'm
No.
not
Absolutely.
having a
Absolutely.
hedge fund or anything. So
No, for sure. And I think like to the common person, this chapter for chapter 6, it talks about when you're betting, you have to understand it is heads or tails, no matter what you pick. It's really irrelevant. It's about the planning that went into the operation before you even got to this flip of a coin. If you ever find yourself making a financial decision off a flip of a coin, you've made a mistake somewhere before we even got to this section. I really like the idea of what they said, where you can don't you can bundle your failures together, seeing a collective point, and they talk all about this a little bit more in chapter 15. Making a collective point about how people fail is not at a single point of failure. Your failure comes over long issues that you've had, things that have been happening to you in the past, and above all else, if it's going to be a 50-50 choice, don't panic. I think That's where most people make the most brash and unreasonable decisions when they're panicking. And with that being said, I want to ask a question of the group. When is a time? Where has there been a time where you had to make a decision and you felt like you panicked and that caused the decision to go awry? And if hindsight 2020, if you were calmer, you would have made a better decision. What you got, Black?
You know how I am though, man. So
Yeah, I know
it's not really.
you jump. You just jump.
I don't be getting that amped up either though to be like to go out my way and fuck it up. So I'm trying hard to think of something where I've
I think for
let the
me,
pressure kind of get to me.
I think for me, it has to be the changing of my job, changing of my position, like that stuff like that, leaving a place where you were comfortable and being happy and everything's set. You have a roadmap that's a 15-20 year roadmap, and you just change it up. JB, the question is, talk about a time where you panicked. Your panic caused you to make a decision that you probably wouldn't have made, and in hindsight, you were able to change it up.
Well, I used to coach agents, and now I am an agent. One of the things we always talk about is hiring out of desperation, just because you want to put a warm body in the seat. Knowing it's a bad hire, I've done it a couple times, but you live and you learn. It's easy to talk about it, and then completely different to execution. So, like, business need a body. You like, oh, you look good. All right, hire you. You sound good. You look good. You brought your representation, but you didn't go through your full interview process. So, been there, done that.
How about you, Kenneth?
Me personally, when it comes to in my earlier investing journey, trying to play earnings, because that's a true 50-50, because you never really know what the earnings are going to be whenever that 10K comes in. So yeah.
And yeah, I've also thinking about the business section of it. Remember, I had the landscaping business, and I took a job that I know we shouldn't have took because of the client, and then that backfired on me because it was way more work than I quoted for.
And that's a good one. That's a good one. They talk about in the book, failures are how you find the tales. This part of the book kind of spoke to me in the sense of I'm a big fan of watching people take L's. One of my favorite things to do is the best part of the movies is when the hero's injured or down, and it's the glimmer of hope that they have in their eye that lets you know, like, okay, they're coming back around to. I truly have an admiration for people who are consistently getting back up after taking an L. Drake,
So
please
One
get
Piece
up.
is your
Like,
favorite.
Drake, get up. What you say, Black?
I say that made One Piece your favorite.
No, One Piece is one. You know damn well One Piece is now favorite, because at the end of the day, there's no way you're going to be able to top the journey that it took to get to the ending. The ending will never satisfy anybody, and that's why people don't like Game of Thrones at the end, because the journey is what you were there for, but everyone's been conditioned to expect a great, satisfactory end as equivalent, when you should really just be grateful for the journey that you're on. And I think that's what Tales is about. It's like, yo, through these events, even if you don't win at the end, did you learn enough to make sure that you're going to make a better decision the next round? Because we all know that the treasure in the One Piece is literally going to be a mirror. And if you don't know that that's the fact at this point, you're going to set yourself up for being upset at the end. There's no way you could top what has been happening in One Piece. So the treasure has to be a mirror.
Yeah,
It's about
you always looking forward to something crazy because I don't care what's at the end, bro. I'm on the ride. I fuck with Luffy, so fucking I ain't looking for him to be like to find something amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the poneglyphs is the only thing that's about something.
Yeah. Facts. And that kind of sells sell cash making assets. Oh, okay. And then one thing they talk about here, selling cash to make assets. We learned in Poor Dad Rich Dad, we don't sell assets, but we rarely ever talk about how we're going to acquire assets, and that requires us to have free on cash. for example, if I take on some new positions here, I know that I want to buy another house or at least get rid of the one I have in Cal City and transfer some of the funding over to another house. But that's going to give me a lot of free cash. So using free cash and how to get that. And they talk about how do you get free cash, and it's through savings. That was something we talked a lot about in the beginning of the first four chapters was about savings. So like in order for you to build assets, you got to save. And you don't have to save for just one thing. You save for anything. Save for the hell of it. Save for a car. Save for a house. Save because you're not sure what tomorrow's going to bring. Because when you have an opportunity, you're going to need free cash in order to make assets. And that was just like the closing on chapter 6. Anybody else wanted something for chapter 6? Push to 7. I can't hear you, Black. You're on mute.
Oh, we Gucci.
All right. Chapter 7, freedom. Any initial thoughts there?
I got about 18 more years.
You got yours calculated to the year?
Yeah, we got.
What about wait? You got 3 on you. What the kids gonna do?
Yeah, when he 18, we should be all right.
Oh, so you say you putting all your hopes on?
Nah, financially we gonna be straight. We just need to get him, back into college or wherever the hell he gonna go at 18.
Yeah,
he gonna do something. He gonna do something.
You
I
gotta
got
do something.
about 14 or less, depending on whatever my daughter do. Y'all know what my freedom is, getting up out of here.
Yeah.
I got most of my time back though, outside of like from a work standpoint. I got most of that back. But the kids, shit, that's just as bad.
Yeah.
That's just as much time.
Kenneth, what does freedom look like for you?
My life right now.
He got freedom now.
I can wake up and do as much as I want to, as little as I want to, but always being productive, being focused and everything. So
do you tie your freedom only to the work that you can do, or is there anything else that allows it? Like, what do you aspire for? It's a loaded question. Yeah, it's a loaded question.
I aspire to have sovereignty. That's what I aspire to have. Mm-hmm. But I know coming up soon, family and everything, that comes with its own responsibilities and all that stuff. But at the end goal, excuse me, Black, you're muted?
He's on mute.
No, I would say you don't have no kids, right?
No, sir.
You don't want no kids.
Not right now. I'm not. I am 27.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah. I'm financially stable, but not as financially stable as I would like to be to, have a child.
So having more money, you feel will give you a little bit more of that freedom that you're looking for?
The ability to do what I would like to do while also feeding another mouth.
Okay.
That comes with a big responsibility because that gives you, if I play my cards right, I have the ability to say no to certain things that aren't tied to money.
Okay. All right. No, that's a great assertion. I think for me, especially as a person who I've already found my freedom, which is, I have the back home in Africa. I can go back home right now and never have to pay a bill in my life, never have to worry about anything. It would be freedom, but would I be satisfied with that freedom? I think when people ascertain freedom, a lot of people homeless people ascertain freedom very quickly, but is it satisfying freedom is what we usually run into. And I think that's the thing that was, and no matter how you feel about capitalism, it being the barrier of all evil and all that good stuff, it doesn't go without saying that, there's certain hurdles and heights. We want our time, and that's what freedom should give us the ability to do, to gain time. I think when it comes to the trade-offs in life, money and time are almost neck and neck with each other, because if you spend all your time making money, when you have all this money, you don't have any time. So the balance between time and money is freedom. How much money are you willing to give up to have time? How much time are you willing to spend to make money to have freedom? they're a trifecta of each other, I think, and I think that's what this chapter is really trying to convey. Any thoughts?
Well, I also think that the next chapter kind of touches on it, but not to jump ahead. I think pertaining to what you just asked, that trade-off has a lot to do, at least for me, being like solely like American. A lot of that has to tie into the American dream and keeping up with the Joneses kind of thing. Like if you always raise your cost of living, always raise the things that you aspire to do, then you'll never have time nor the money. So the tough part for most people is finding their content spot to just be okay with living, be okay with having enough. Some people don't have enough in America.
But that just be like you saying, keeping up with the Joneses, because enough can be anything. It's a wide variety of what enough could be for a person.
Yeah.
A lot of times, their enough don't be fucking logical.
You will lose a lot of sleep comparing yourself to someone else in this world. You'll lose a lot of sleep. You have to, and that's why you have to have your own number. You have to have your own idea of your own happiness. All four of us on this call have our own versions of happiness, but if we all switch places right now, we could all say, I'm not happy in this person's situation, even though this is their favorite or best situation. So like identifying your own internal happiness is paramount. It's paramount, especially as men, because it drives our direction. It drives our morals and our energy. We wake up every morning wanting to do this. So that's the most important part for people like, I think, like for us. Another thing that they mention here is money can't buy you happiness. This is something that I've long debated, that money can definitely buy you happiness. I've never seen a person sad on a jet ski. I've never seen a person taking a direct flight in a jet airline. Denounce my topics. How do we feel about this? Is there a situation where you feel money can't buy happiness? What are y'all thoughts on that?
I feel as though people kind of mix up happiness with being content. Money can indeed buy you happiness, like going on trips and things like that. That's happiness. But being content, money can't buy you that. I think that's the problem that people associate with having money. But
I think the problem is when you attach like the things that money can buy to your happiness. My favorite movie is Pursuit of Happiness, but if you really like pay attention to the title and you can break it down, like it's like the pursuit of happiness. What are you always chasing? Like what is it that you actually chasing? Like for me, there is something that I'm chasing that money can buy for me, but after I have it, like okay, but back to Kenneth's point, like at that point I should be content. Right, but you don't know that until you require that. That's the downside of being a driven, motivated person, right? Like if I get there, like now you're telling me to stop, so I can't promise you that that's gonna happen either.
Well, I think it's just time right now for me though, because it ain't really a money thing. Because money can't fast forward life. I'm just waiting for my daughter to get older and then choose what she wants to do. And then, like I said, I'm out of here.
All right, let's push chapter 8. Man in the car. What? And I think this carries on from chapter 7 a lot heavily. You looking at the guy in the nice car, not knowing what it takes for upkeep, not knowing what he had to do, or not knowing how miserable the person is. We want to respect money, ultimately. We see people respect money, and I think that the perfect example of this is Elon Musk. A lot of people see Elon Musk and attribute intelligence or attribute good decision-making skills because of his proximity to money. But just taking the most rudimentary look at his lifestyle and how he acquired his wealth will let you know he's probably not the ultimate role model for what we want people to aspire to be. Any thoughts here?
Muted.
I mean, that's most billionaires, right? It tells you in. Like I can amass a certain amount of wealth by just doing something, but I think ultimately in this segment of chapters, what he was saying, like you get to a different level when you just trying stuff, and you willing to continue to take risks and take chances. So, um, I mean, that's part of it. Like you can call it a genius. It's a different thing. Like he willing to take on certain risks that most people wouldn't, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want to call it, to get to certain levels.
Facts.
But that's I think we said something about psychology and money, right? So, like if you look at a lot of the financial advisors and things like that, like they were pursuing me because I had a psychology degree because it's all behavioral. And everybody has a certain level of risk that they can handle or they willing to deal with, and like how can you explain away whatever's going on in the market? You know, I'm doing it right now in the insurance industry, like so. Uh, yeah.
Any feed here? Chapter 8 was fairly short. Anything else?
That's that
No,
keeping up with the Joneses stuff. That's it.
for sure. Let's go. Chapter 9. Wealth is what you don't see. This is my favorite. One of my favorite things to show off here. Um, I tell this story every now and again. One of my favorite stories in the NFL was when I was going to my first press conference. I had plastic cufflinks on. I had plastic cufflinks on to go to my first press conference, and as I was coming back, going to the stage, JPP stopped me and said, "What are you doing? You don't have no jewelry on you." I was like, "Sorry, I don't have a game check yet, so I'm a poor man. I live at the stadium." And he was like, "All right, take my cufflinks," and he gave me his cufflinks. And I got on stage, and the first thing everybody said is like, everybody, all the rookies and everybody had some jewelry on themselves, and they said, "Oh man, Hero, that's a great piece. That's a great piece." Yeah, I was like, "Oh, it was a gift." Shout out to JPP. He's like, "Oh wow, JPP gave you those. That's amazing." And they like, "How much does it cost?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." And you just hear him yell from the back, "It costs 20,000 a piece for each cufflink," which immediately made me nervous. It made me scared, like petrified, like, "Oh my god, I got
You
20,000."
thought you can break it?
Yeah, I was terrified. And so, after the meeting, I saw him in the locker room. I tried to give it back to him. I tried to give him back the cufflinks. And it's like, "No, man, keep it, because you're gonna have more meetings, and I want you to look good during meetings." And one day, and I removed myself. 5 years later, I removed myself from it, and I'm getting jewelry actually evaluated at my house. And I'm like, "Yeah, that's JPP gave me those back in the day." And then you sit there like, "Oh, that's cubic zirconium. They're not real." And it's the perception of money. JPP was the person who made $90 million that year playing football. And that was just an extension of his $104 million contract. He made a $90 million extension, and he's wearing cubic zirconium cufflinks, at least the ones he gave me. But to the masses and to everyone else who knows this, those things cost $20,000 a piece. And that is the perception of wealth versus the perception of being rich. JPP is a wealthy person. He's never going to have to work a day in his life, and his kids will never have to work a day in their life. But imagine how many people saw that interview and said, "That's how I know I'm rich, by having $20,000 cufflinks." That perception in your mind, that changed my perception of money moving forward on impact. Because I learned a lesson there that I never thought was meaningful at first. So it was really interesting to see. But I always like telling that story when we talk about what it looks like to be rich or wealthy. Does anybody have any story or anything they want to put on that?
We ain't been rich. We ain't got no rich friends.
Shut up, Black. You're rich right now. Shut up.
I wore a rollie a couple of times, but
Black lives a great life. Don't let him tell y'all anything else. But do we respect people who look rich?
When we've never had money, I believe. So,
I just
yeah.
respect motherfuckers off GP. I ain't got no reason to not respect somebody. I'm not respecting because they have something though.
Do we okay,
respect,
maybe not respect. So maybe do we take them as an authority over anything? Like if someone rich was saying this is their gospel, this is their speak, are we taking that into consideration because of their status, of their wealth?
We just listen to Prime, but then he finished the book because we was okay. So I guess not.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You're absolutely right. We talk about hidden wealth. And this is the question I think that I took from this chapter, from chapter 9. Can you be wealthy in the middle class? What is, like, because if any of y'all ever become billionaires, just remember this moment. We Hero loves you, and we appreciate your time. But the question is, when you're making strategic moves about your future, the goal is to be comfortable, and comfortability is attributed to wealth. So in the middle class, for what it's worth, do we have something that looks like wealth for us?
Yes. Yes, it's called debt. It's called debt free. If you're in the middle class and you're debt free, then you are wealthy.
I'd even add on to that and say a 401k, a healthy 401k.
See, I'm in the loan market of pensions.
Yeah.
So I ain't have to worry about that.
Yeah, not all of us are as fortunate. Like I said, black is rich. Black is the richest man on the damn call right now.
This man is a doctor, and Jeremiah got a fucking his own State Farm. He don't work for State Farm.
He don't work for State Farm. He owns State Farm. I think I think there is for sure wealth, but it's about how you build it. In the middle class, you are going to have to build your wealth from the ground up, and I think there's something that we don't talk a lot about. You might not ever get to experience your wealth, so you have to be very selfless to be wealthy in the middle class, because that's something more than likely will help traject your child or your future in the long run. I think to garner a level of wealth in the middle class in your prime time, you'd have to make serious advancements, almost like winning the lottery, or you have to have made some type of advancement in your life or career or lifestyle that would put you there. We see this example, for example, in Nigeria and Africa, they have arranged marriage. A lot of people think, oh, arranged marriage, how fucking cumbersome is that? Like, shut up. If we didn't have this arranged marriage, this person's whole entire family tree would disappear off the face of the earth. And if their sole purpose is farming rice, and we lose that trait, that ability to make rice, then everyone dies. So we see the importance of making family trees connect and arranged marriage as a form of survival. And that survival could bring about wealth, because now you have a rice family alongside a milk family, and those two families now have a joint venture with each other through bloodline, which is always impactful. So just taking those things into consideration. Any feedback there?
Whoa.
Where your wife at?
Who, me?
Yeah, nigga.
I'm working on it. Why you busting my chops, man?
Pops them at the crib. They supposed to sent you a wife.
Man. Hey,
That's
not for nothing. Hey, it's right after Ramadan, so everybody's at the parties now. They chilling and be like, so your wife's back in Nigeria. We heard the family's coming in July. You want me to bring my family down? Like, that's how my parents met. My parents basically had an arranged marriage. It was more structured than it was back in the day, but basically, there was a town hall meeting where all the families brought up. You dressed in your Sunday's best, and if two groups of kids started talking, the family sat at the top of the event, and then they went to go talk to that respective family. Hey, my kid's talking to your kid. What do you guys do? And that's how trade systems went for a long time. But no, you had something, Kenneth?
On your point of being selfless to become wealthy in the middle class, I feel as though you have to be selfish, because in the middle class, you do have access to wealth, or no, you do have access to money, but you have to be selfish in the sense of, if you give away all of your money, then you'll never become wealthy.
No. I think, and that's a good call out. I think the nation I was trying to make was, you have to be selfless within your family, because you might not get to experience that wealth. You might have to pass it on. Like, say, for example, you get into real estate. Yeah, you're going to be cutthroat with the people outside of your family to get that real estate, But the real estate really comes powerful 30 years later when it's now 3 times its worth and your family wants to make an investment. Okay, you guys can now sell this property and enjoy it. I lived there, but you guys can sell that money. So yeah, to make a correction there, for sure.
But that's exactly what I mean. Sometimes your family will be the drainer of your money.
Oh, absolutely.
Most times.
Yeah.
Most times.
I don't know about sometimes.
So in that
Like
sense, I do
death,
mean that you
even
have to
your
be
kids.
selfish. Excuse me?
I say even your kids. That's why
Yes.
a lot of people have businesses. They can't really pass it down to their child because their child have other aspirations, stuff they want to do outside of that. So when they get that forced on them, they don't put their all into it and they fall apart.
Mm-hmm. Chapter 10. Save money. How much money are we at a percentage? I just want to talk about this real quick, very bluntly. In a percentage of 100% of your paycheck, how much of that paycheck are you putting into some type of saving or investment?
I'll go first. I'm still in my 20s, so about 10. It's not much.
Yeah, I'm trying to save like a check and a half or two a month.
So I think they were like, I'm saving 55%. 55% of my check I try and put into saving. How much? How much?
100.
Yeah.
100% of 100% go back into my business. So we can call that what we want to call it.
Investing.
Investment.
Like, call it an investment if you want to. It's risky as hell, but
It's risky
that's
as
what we
hell.
do.
And you run on the plan. I'm assuming that you don't pay yourself.
I don't pay myself. No.
Okay, that's how I had to learn that the hard way with my LLC 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Don't pay yourself.
Yeah,
You're broke,
we
sir.
I made a whopping $9,000 last year, and that's because I had to. So that means we're doing okay, y'all.
Yeah, yeah.
That means we're doing all right.
So that's a good thing. I think I can't stress how important it is for saving, because in this chapter they talked a lot about the importance of saving, but I just want to reiterate, there's a level of comfort you gotta have. There's a level of comfort you gotta have to be able to save money, right? And it gives you the ability to get out of a toxic situation at work. It gives you the ability to say, oh, I'm not going to work for the first 7 months of a year as I go and find myself or take care of myself. It gives you the ability to say, if I got hurt or injured, I can do this. Saving, and it doesn't have to be much. Kenneth, you said 10% like it was a small number. Hey, yo, what up, Carpenter? If I was 21 and I saved half of my game checks and knew what the S&P 500 was, I promise you guys probably wouldn't know me right now. I promise you guys wouldn't know me right now. Black, look at me.
If I was 21, saving any portion of a military check would have been just like, I'd have been able to go to Burger King next week.
But it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter when you do it, how you do it. S&P 500, 401k, high yield savings account, whatever your method, putting it in your own saving account and getting 0.003. You're saving the money. Too many people try and save money when they want to do something. Oh, I want a car. I'm going to start saving. Oh, I want to buy a house. I want to save. The difference is between people who save when they have to and people who save when they save all the time is, oh, there's a house down the street that just went on sale. I have the money already to get this. Versus missed opportunity. And I guess that's the bridge to this conversation. Having the ability to save money gives you the ability to be prepared for opportunity. And that's stupid. Like, that's mad stupid valuable. Mad stupid valuable. Any thoughts here?
You went real late 80s black right there.
Hey. Respectable politics. Respectable
That
politics.
was mad stupid. That was dumb fresh.
My name's Akeem, and I'm here to help you guys become better in society. Man. Golly. Okay. But yeah, and I just had this question lingering. And anyone in the chat can feel, what are you saving for? What are you saving for? Is there something that you have in mind that you want to save? I've been saying this for 3 years. I've been saving for a car. I could buy the car I want right now in cash right now. But I'm still saving for it. What are you saving for?
more real estate.
And that's the thing for me. Like, I don't have a really think like nothing I'm really saving for. Because I already know what I like. Well, we already know what I want to do. I just want to be gone. So fucking
Yeah.
It's me having a kid here. So once I pay for college or whatever she want to do, and then she decides what she want to do after college, then I'm good to go.
Okay, so people in chat saying saving for travel, saving to move to Japan. Robotech, you're move. Okay. All right, so travel.
Look, see, they trying to get to Japan. I fuck with Japan. Hey, my nephew out there right now. He's stationed out there.
I just don't like how there's nothing. I can't fit into anything there. Everything is so small out there.
You're gonna be Gucci, man. Japan. They say Japan is one of the cleanest places in the world. Probably the cleanest place in the world.
Yeah, probably. I thought Toronto was really clean for when I was there.
You talking about?
I met Bruce last week. He said Japan is the cleanest place in the world. He said it said if it wasn't for family hit, that's what he would move instantly. Yeah. They completely different over there.
Interesting. All right, we'll push chapter 11. Rational versus reasonable.
Now, when we done, YouTube Japan's cleanliness, and you're gonna be like, God damn, they got the way it's just set up to do everything. Everything is just...
I think the Japan thing is more of a culture. They take care of shit. Like, I always love seeing the videos whenever they're leaving a international soccer game. They always have bags that they bring to clean up after everybody. If you've ever seen those videos on YouTube, it's actually pretty interesting. It's a cultural thing. Rational versus reasonable. This right here is something I needed to hear when I first started my stock portfolio. This is the antidote to FOMO. If you ever find yourself being nervous with money, learning the difference between rational and reasonable will greatly assist you. Rational. If you have money to invest, you should invest. Reasonable. You shouldn't be investing more than what you're willing to lose. So I take this example for what it's worth. I'm a dividend investor. I'm very boring. I am terrified of losing money in the stock market. So when I found out that there are stocks in the stock market that they will pay you to hold, just to hold it for them. They'll pay you to hold it, and then 6 months into it, if you've held it for 6 months, they'll then pay you to lend it out to someone else, and we'll pay you the interest and fees on that. Okay, cool, no problem. But this means you have to hold no matter what. So that means during 2020, when the stock market crashed because of the vid, I had to hold it and watch my portfolio shrink 33% with no consequence to myself. I did nothing wrong, right? So, and then the reasonable thing is to expect that you'll get the dividends that you're owed at the end of the day, and that's why I'm aiming for. I'm aiming to have $230,000 invested by the end of the year, and I want to start making a profit that I can report as income from the stock market. But the way to do that, or the way to inherently be prepared to do that, is being rational in the beginnings of your investment, day in, day out. Do we have any relations with the stock market, like dealing with rational versus reasonable? Does everyone here have a stock market, an investment account? Everyone here has that investment, I know.
A little bit. I told you, it's a different type of gamble for me. Like I told you, I was minding it too much. I was paying attention all day, just overly watching a lot of stock and shit like that. Yeah. And it kind of drive me crazy.
Yeah, it'll drive it. Kenneth, how about yourself? Are you invested at all?
Yes, and I suffer with the same thing that Black mentioned: tinkering, messing with it, not setting and forgetting it, always remembering it, checking it. Too much. But I try to just make my changes every month and then go from there. That's really my psychology on how I manage it.
JB, the person who knows the most about it, talk about it.
Just stop trying to beat the market. You'll be able to leave it alone.
Ride the wave, don't lead the wave.
Once you just try and focus on, like, hey, I'm just trying to do as good as the market instead of beating the market, I think it changes strategy completely. But Me currently, I stopped investing in everything except into the business because that's what we got to do. So I couldn't even tell you what the market looked like for real. I couldn't even tell you what's
Exactly,
going
because I
on.
ain't been paying attention. And
I'm so I'm
the
so
only thing I've been
focused on
paying
what I'm
attention to is
doing.
my motherfucking annuities at work and what my pension gonna be when I retire. So far,
No, definitely. I think it's a high yield account stock market. Well, regarding for inflation of this year, you're looking if you ride the wave of the stock market, you're looking at a 6% plus on the market. And if you have a portfolio dating back to 2019, prior to 2019, you would be up 15%. That's accounting for inflation as well. And I can attribute to that as someone who's ahead of the market. But I also get paid not only dividends, but I get paid fees for people who have FOMO. It's a sadistic thing, but I make money the most money when people are panicking in the market. Uh, it pays to be stable. Chapter 12, surprise. Any thoughts here? Anybody want to take lead here? I think Black, you said this is the last one for you.
yeah, it was right on the cusp of me taking a nap.
Hard seems could anybody want to take hold on. I think the thing here is um a lot of people don't expect the surprise of money or surprise of what comes when you have money. I think like they made a great gambling association here. Like if you knew how to count cards or something like that, you would be better off at blackjack. But you know how much effort are you really willing to put into a game in order to make money? And also, if you think you're going to make money at a blackjack table, you've already made bad and horrible decisions along the way.
Yeah,
Um,
but if you count
This
cards, your ass is kind of like
this
you got to be able to be not. The thing about counting cards, nigga, you got to not be noticed that you're doing it. Once they know you're doing it, you banned. So you got to like that's the problem.
this rem- this chapter remind me of like how I try and train my salespeople. Is law of large numbers, right? Like you know your process, you know your system. If I continually do like the same thing over and over again, eventually I'm gonna find that person or that group of people that changed my career. Like it's you just gotta stay consistent on what you're doing. But like surprise, right? Like people get lucky because they working hard. We kind of talked about that the last time.
yeah.
Like you get lucky because you put in the work. You're not just getting lucky because like, oh, I played this one stock like 10 years ago and then that shit took off. Like it doesn't really happen like that. And I think that's what
Mm.
that can remind me of.
But ain't that the story of a lot of people though? Like they invested in some shit and it took off, but that was I guess it was
That
so
was
long ago. It ain't like as frequent anymore.
but it was probably like one of 100 investments that they
Yeah.
made. It wasn't like
Yeah.
they just was like picked one out of a hat and that shit hit. Like that might have happened for somebody, but I say odds are that's not really how it happened. Like if
Yeah.
I go outside right now and like I go door knocking, if I knock 1,000 doors, like I'm probably gonna hit something. But if somebody just go outside and knock one door, like odds are like 1 in a billion that person gonna be who you looking for.
Facts. Warren Buffett talks about how he was wrong more than he was right. So if we were basing it off of his track record, he'd be in a failing position. But because when he was right, and it took off for him. That's why he's able to stand on business. There are people who are outperforming and who have outperformed um, Warren Buffett, but at the scale, it's the scale at which he performed when he needed to perform is what I think really makes a difference.
What do you say when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But sometimes when I'm wrong, I'm right.
Yeah.
That's my fucking off get rich or die trying dude that was like, I don't know, man. Sometimes when I'm wrong, but sometimes when I'm wrong, I'm right too. So we just gotta go. What I'm saying.
and then I think like the thing about it, if you want to limit surprises, like if you want to limit surprises and things like this, you need a routine. Ultimately, chapter 12 talks about establishing a routine that you can always return back to. So like, and you probably think about this like as you move up. But if you remember yourself in college, you were a lot more formulaic because you had food, a place to sleep, and all you were really responsible for doing was going to class and getting good grades. And the moment you stop getting good grades, the things like your food, your shelter, and the place that you are would go away. Why? Because the only way you're going to be in school getting all those things is if your grades are good. So that system then pushes on to the next level. You use that system to then go out into the real world. Okay, I need to perform at my job so that I can have food, shelter, and have money to do the things I want to do. Whatever routine you stick to. So if it's going, and it's a simplistic routine, going to the gym, having social engagements that are powerful to you, having a community of people you can talk to about your day to day or the things that are probably not talked about as much anymore. Those are routines that you can stick back to. So whenever you see someone who's like going through a rut, and they go back to the basics, that's not them taking a step backwards. That's them reestablishing their foundation so that they can rebuild or re-up for the next level. It's very important to be mindful of people who are in their rebuilding stage. Be supportive of them. They need your help. They need your assistance. It's hard to ask for help in these times, but if you see someone in that situation, keep that in mind that they're trying to get back into their routine, which brought them success in the past. Kenneth, you have anything there?
To kind of go back, I don't know where it said it in the book, but it said on the topic of when I'm right, and when I'm wrong, I may be wrong. In the book, it mentioned Benjamin Graham's like investment philosophy, and that a majority of his money was made on Geico, which was an anomaly in all of his like. It was different than his investment psychology, but it worked out for him, and it attributed to a large majority of his wealth. So things just may happen, like the luck of the draw, basically. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And you say by stepping out of what you normally accustomed to. So doing something differently than what you normally do can be your ticket.
No, for
True.
sure. For sure. The room, chapter 13, room for error. This one was really interesting because it does kind of link to 12. But that's what Black just said is a perfect time. Leaving yourself room for error might be you stepping out on whether it's faith, your past experiences, the research that you've acquired, new knowledge, new skills. But making room for error might be the difference between you losing it all and you just hitting a speed bump and like, damn, my suspension, I'm gonna pay for that in 6 months. Being able to control how you are impacted by damaging effects really makes a difference. What are some examples of room for error for you guys? I think for me, one of the things that I make room for error, the way I make room for error is by always making sure I have 6 months of expenses saved up at all times. Like on top of whatever I want to do, whatever I want to have dreams for and aspirations, making sure I always have room for expenses that I have in my mind are always at the top thing. Do you have anything, Black, that you use to make room for error? Or an example of it?
Yeah, life is just life. I ain't really like looking for error, so I can't even say I prepare for it before. Like I don't have room for it, so it's like when shit goes wrong, I just adjust to it.
But what gives you the ability to adjust? That is a room for error, isn't it?
Shit, I guess just fucking working. I get paid every week.
What about you, Kenneth?
That's another thing. Like if motherfucker want to think about some shit, like, "Alright, fuck it, I just work a couple extra hours, then I'm Gucci."
Okay, so you have so I mean, but yeah, therein lies the possibility, right? That's hilarious.
Didn't they talk about that in the book of like how certain investment people, they'll work a lot or more hours than they're supposed to make a sliver of. Yeah, they talked about that.
Yeah,
but
no, they did. They did. Speak
You
on it.
know
Go
who
ahead.
live like that the most would be nurses. You know how nurses just prepare their life by the hours they work. Be like, shit, I gotta work fucking. I want to go somewhere. I'll just work another 20 hours this week. Because I know a lot of nurses who only work 3, 4 days a week.
No
And
facts.
that's why I like this book so much because like it compounds on the topics that it's talked about before, and
Mm-hmm.
like that goes back to the money versus time
Yeah.
Yeah.
balance. Like you gotta weigh your options, but yeah,
Absolutely have to
yeah.
weigh your options. And I think the another thing that I take into consideration here, just piggybacking off of that, your room for error is literally whatever you have the capability to take. Like, um, so even if you don't have savings, but you can weather the storm because you have a family member who can support you while you're in your L's. Your room for error doesn't just have to be internally based on you. It could be the government. It could be whatever you need to get to the next step. So don't be so narrow-minded in trying to find room for error. Two more chapters, Black. I promise you, we're almost done here. Okay.
Oh yeah,
I'm good.
wait.
I'm here.
Oh, my room for error is I had just moved to
Mm-hmm.
Houston about a month ago. I live in a different part of Texas, but in case this job does not work out, I still have my house back home.
Facts.
So I never sold my house. Oh, sorry.
Facts.
I never sold my house. So if it doesn't work out, I can always have a place to stay. I have an investment vehicle that I could rent out, things like that. So that's my room for error. So yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Chapter 14. You will. Damn. What was the name of the chapter? Chapter 12? Oh, you will change. Yo. Okay. There's a lot of people. When you okay, and there's an old African proverb that says 20 friends can't be friends for 20 years. The people you started off with, they all probably won't make it. Drake probably should take this into consideration. He needs to let go of some people in his group right now. Oh yeah, productive time. I see you in chat. I know Toronto's in pain right now. And I think it's so important for people to be able to understand that people come into your life for powerful things, and I think people should also leave your life for powerful things too. Like, uh, I'm not the same person I was when I played football. I'm not the same person I was when I was working at the medical center as a transporter, moving patients around. And people who remember me and see me from those lifestyles, I can't be mad at them for expecting me to still be that person. But it's never your responsibility to try and get people to understand you. There's too many people in the world right now for you to be trying to explain yourself to just one person. Allow people in the world to see you for who you are and take it as it is and move with it. And I think that's a big part of change. And financial statuses change people. Money doesn't change you, it just makes you more of who you are. And I immediately understood that when I saw like how how lucrative and uh how much people changed their lifestyle once they got money. Um, yeah, you can buy yourselves a lot of nice things, but there's a reason why people who hit the lottery go broke almost 3 years later. They never had the fundamental skills to handle money. There's a reason why before financial advisors were required for professionals, all of our favorite athletes are doing fucking chicken commercials and selling their music to keep their $1 million mansions. Is because they didn't have good financial planning prior to. Um, what are our thoughts on how money changes people? Do we have any examples, personal examples of how money changed you or someone you know?
Like they always say, money makes you gives you the ability to be who you
Yeah.
really think you are. So if you was like you wanted to be a asshole, but you was too broke to be one, you can't really be an asshole because now you got to borrow some money from somebody. But if you had the money and you know you ain't got to borrow from nobody, now you like fuck these motherfuckers. You ain't getting shit from me.
Yeah.
JB, anything on how money changes people?
Or change you specifically.
Or change you
Hey,
specifically.
I ain't got no money, so I don't know. I don't know.
Kenneth?
I don't know if it's the money that actually changed people though.
That's why I said you just allowed to be more who you are
Yeah.
when you have money.
And I don't even know if it's the money though. I think it's like the things that come with money. I think one of the questions you was asking earlier is like, do we follow people with money? A lot of times specific like people tend to think that a person with money know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
So they got a bigger influence, more people that's following them, so they think what they saying carry more weight and it's more powerful. And it's like, well, maybe. But you're not moving me one way or the other. I don't know if it's that. I mean, the money is the contributing factor, right? That's why people following you. But it's it's that money or power always continuing conversation,
would Elon
right?
Musk be as influential if he didn't have the money? I don't think so.
Right.
But like, is he really like influential to anybody?
Yeah.
Like, certain people that like got a lot of money ain't really like that influential.
But ain't nobody trying to act like ain't nobody trying to be Elon Musk. They'll listen to what they think he's saying because they think that what he's saying is right. But nobody's trying to actually be like.
Or good to listen to, not necessarily right. Because like it's like Jeff Bezos. Ain't nobody, you can't make another Amazon. So it's not like nobody really like he that influential like this nigga. I want to be bald head. What I'm gonna do? What they got to offer ain't really nothing much, but other than being rich.
Facts. Kenneth, anything?
There's so many points that were said, but I feel like if Elon didn't have the money, he would still have the same power.
Really?
Yes.
Why do you feel that way?
You think he's that smart?
Because of who he is and what he represents.
What is that?
Well, you can't represent nothing without no money.
I'm saying
no. What Elon represents is a hive mind of like an ideology, and they would still have the same power.
What do they have power of though?
Yeah, well, give an example. What is the power he wields without his money?
This whole like freedom of speech tangent that he's going, like not tangent, but like core idea that he's going on with Twitter and everything, that holds a lot of weight with the people that he speaks to. So yes, the money may bring more eyes to him, but he'll still have the same amount of power because of the knowledge that he has. He's
and I hear what you're saying, and I can even appreciate it. But we understand that he bought Twitter to claim in hopes of fighting for freedom of speech. And by buy, I mean he was forced to buy it because he wanted out of that contract. I don't think Elon has any shroud in him that is concerned about freedom of speech, because if he did, he wouldn't be going around banning people on his platform for tracking his jet, which is free information and things like that. He wouldn't be banning people who critique his Cybertruck for being probably responsible for the first incident of death, where the foot pedal slid to the front and got trapped underneath the lip ledge. Like Elon Musk has.
Did anybody die yet? Somebody died from it?
Someone died in the Cybertruck. Yeah.
Yes.
So so for me, I think Elon practices a certain level of censored freedom of speech. He has things he wants to hear in his echo chamber, and I think that's why he bought Twitter. I honestly believe he bought Twitter because no one in his real life would ever hug him or give him adulations. He needed the world of people to do it for him. And I think once again,
That's exactly why I say that he would have the same power that he would if he didn't have all the money. The money is just a byproduct of what he stands for. That right there is why he would have the same power. Because there's more people than you realize that have that same makeup. And that's why Elon in specific, in this example, and right here, Elon would still be Elon. Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on which side you stand on, he speaks to a certain sect of people.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Great points, everybody. I want to bring two key points that they brought up in chapter 14. How people rush when you're youth, you rush to get tattoos that you rush to get removed in your career, in your senior parts of your career. And he makes a few more examples of this, but I put in parentheses here because people who rush to go get tattoos and then rush to get them removed, they lack a certain level of conviction. If you want to make permanent decisions in your life, you got to have a certain level of conviction to stand on business. I started growing my hair out, I think towards the beginning part of 2019 when I changed over to another hospital. And when I did my interview, Indian lady gave me some advice during my interview, said, hey, you should probably think about cutting your hair. And I was like, why? And she was like, they don't really like those type of hairstyles here. And I removed myself from the application process. And I told myself, like, I'm never going to work or do anything that's going to make me not stand on business. I'm too smart, too educated, too prepared, too strong, too fast, I'm just better than the people that are trying to put a cap on who I am. So I took that conviction and I stand on that business, right? If you're gonna stand on something, just stand on it, right? Just be firm about it. Whether you don't believe in it now, we can look at some of the protests that are happening on these college campuses. These people are choosing to stand on business. People are saying these people are being obnoxious. They're being annoying. And I'll be like, well, back in the civil rights era, they were standing on business too, and they was doing the same thing. So it's hard for me to sit here and say thanks for me, no for you, right? So just stand on your business. That's one thing here. Anything else with chapter 14? Talk about moderation. All right, cool. Chapter 15. Nothing is free. Only thing is free is death and time. And you're free to waste both of those things. You're free to waste both of those things. What is the price of success? The price of success is discipline. The price of success is understanding consequences, and I think the thing that fuels those things is regret, a missed opportunity, not being prepared, or preparing and not executing. The price of success is a hefty one. To be successful, or to even be able to take on that moniker of success, I think is heavy weighted. Do we find ourselves successful where we are today in our lives?
Yeah, but remember, your success is defined by you. So
that's why I'm asking.
Do you find yourself
successful?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
For sure. Kenneth?
In the process of it. Doing all right.
What do you think you need? What do you think you're missing?
Time.
Okay.
Because I'm only 27 and I need all of my current access to develop. So just staying the course. So yes, I'm in the process of being successful. And if you put me in like the pool of other 27-year-olds, yes, I'll be successful. But my success, like same things like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Like I'm only successful to whoever is judging me.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
What about yourself, JB?
I got a version of success, but you said regret is a fuel of success. I think discipline is also a fuel of success. The cost of success is in my life right now is time. It's how I decide to spend my time. I can come home and spend it with my family, or I can be in my office. And both of them lead to different versions of success. So it takes a lot of discipline to fuel it so that it all works properly.
That's good. That's good. And it ties in perfect to another 2 points that I want to make for this chapter. Maintain while in the storm. It's so important when this then once again compounds back on having your routine. Being able to weather the storm speaks more to your ability to be successful, because people who tend to weather the storm feel like they're failing. But in actuality, you're handling adversity, and handling adversity truly the sign of a successful system for yourself. Your system doesn't have to be as robust as everyone else's, but just being able to weather the storm is super important. And then we go back to a time and a place. You want to think of a time and a place that you can attribute or aim towards. This is the equivalent of writing your goals on the wall. I thought it was such a dumb thing to do. Why do I write my 10 goals on the wall and not look at it? But here I am with my 10 goals on my computer screen, and every day when I turn this, every day I sit here, I'm forced to look at it. I'm forced to acknowledge everything that I'm doing towards it. Put yourself in the time and place. A lot of people see themselves going on vacation with their family, and that being the goal. That I want to be able to go on vacation with my family and show them how hard I work so that they can enjoy this one day, versus expanding that time and enjoying multiple times. Because he ends the chapter so eloquently, it rains at Disneyland. So if you planned all this energy just to do it on one day and it's raining on that day, have you wasted your time? Well, no. But if that was the goal, to have a great day on that one day, you did it. So you did fail. Perception is everything. Perception is everything. And that's pretty much what I feel. We're 15 chapters in. How are we feeling about the book? You're on mute.
Yeah, I'm fucking with it. You know that. I think we all pretty much fucking with it.
Yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about this shit yet. You know, I'm usually the negative Nancy.
Yeah, I was sure about to say that. Like, damn.
Hero, stay with something wrong with a book, boy.
Hey. What about yourself, JB? What you thinking?
Nah, this one cool. I like how he touching on more different angles than I originally thought he would. Which is my initial issue. I didn't think that he was touching enough, going with enough depth in a lot of context. But maybe I was just reading it too fast because this next group of chapters I probably was hitting.
How about yourself, Kenneth?
I feel as though in my short time of being an adult, reading this book has kind of solidified all of my ideology on like money, keeping money, obtaining money, things like that. Like everything is just reinforcement of what I'm doing. Yeah.
It's very interesting to see the type of person like I had to become in order to become financially literate. You do have to change as a person. Like, and when you talk to someone who's financially literate, we all kind of speak a vernacular. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but we all have a certain level of understanding and a respect or fear of what money can do for you. And I truly enjoy seeing and hearing other people's version of this. We'll be finishing up the book here. I think it goes to chapter 20. There's 20 chapters in here, so we'll be done with this. I will read the extended prints of this, so I'll bring those notes too. We'll probably then start with the what's the name of the book? The War Book. We're gonna pick up on the War Book. The name of that book is 100-Year War of Palestine. With everything that's been going on in the book and everything that's been going on in the world and everything like that, I remember us at least for me in the 90s, when this topic came up on the news, people would always say it's too complicated. They've been fighting since before time. We will never understand how to solve the problem. And then somebody wrote this book and said that's literally why it's been going on for this long, because no one wants to talk about it. So I find it interesting. But we'll finish up chapters 16 through 20 for the psychology of money. If you guys found anything here that you liked, didn't like, let us know what your psychology of money experience has been. Feel free to leave in the comment section below. Don't forget to check out Kenneth. He be coding sometimes on his channel. Make sure y'all check it out. He's linked below. I'll make sure his information is there. Kenneth, tell him about your channel real quick.
Truly, I'm just working in public with everything that I do, coding wise. Make websites currently. I aspire to make apps and branch out to other forms of software like that. So just freelancing. So
Excellent. Black, you gonna be playing any video games? What you doing?
Yeah, I'm about to go. My niece just graduated from college, so I'm about to go a little surprise party, get drunk.
Have a good time. Have a good time. All right, I ain't gonna hold y'all too much. JB, where you at? Oh, JB being a family of 4. I forgot. There he is.
Bro, JB done been in the garage. He done been outside.
We seen his whole house plan.
He wasn't even in the back of the house. He was on the side of the crib, bro. He just trying to duck all action right now.
Hey, it's a lot going on, fellas.
Hey, we appreciate it. Thank you guys all so much for being here. Meet us next week, same time, same day. You don't know the time. But we'll see you guys next week.